changes in what Austin. This is a big moment, right? There's just been a talk on Twitter about how why it doesn't show like the full thing. Like some players have good KDs, but like realistically, they're not that fucking good in the sense of like they kind of hurt the team. Vice
Mm-hmm.
versa, some people have point eights and they're actually kind of super important. Maybe they could be a little bit better, but like at the same time, like they're not. So it's like with this franchising coming up. Now I'm gonna ask this before you kind of answer the question that Mama Zuma said. With this question coming up, this is a big moment. What you just said, Austin. Right? There's very big opportunity in franchising. You want to have that 1.3 because if you have that 1.3, you're getting picked up next year. You know what I'm saying? Like just period.
If you're a top 5 KD at champs, you're getting picked
Yeah,
up.
and like maybe you suck or maybe you don't. If you do it, someone's gonna pick you up. It's the nature of the business. Obviously, some know COD a little bit more than others, and they would see like through it. Some won't. And with that being said, this big moment, do you think some players will kill Horde and go for it? You know what I'm saying? Do you like? That's what I'm saying. Like, do
They
you think that's
probably
the
will.
thing?
No, they probably will. But the thing is I don't like. Well, I'm different than most people. You have to have a high KD and a high placing. If you had a 1.3 and got top 16 like EG,
Yeah,
I
that's what I
literally
was
don't. I
thinking.
could not
Yeah,
care. Like, you
that's
know
what
what I
I
mean?
was.
And
That's a
I
great point.
also do think a lot of people don't realize it. In my opinion, KD has it means the least in this current game we're playing.
For sure.
Like the least by far. I look at KDs and I go watch people play and I'm just like, yeah, you had a 1.3, cool, but look what you're doing. Like you're literally letting all your teammates slide in first. You're doing it like, bro, like KD means the least right now by far. It's not even close. I look at the damage tab before I look at KD.
Damage and
I don't even know
score
if
even
that's
sometimes,
yeah, like
dude.
so people might kill her, but if you get last with the number one KD, cool. You're probably still not getting picked up. So you
Yeah,
have to be playing the game the right way and put up stats.
and that's like I feel like that's a thing that like players don't understand. I mean, I feel like this is more of an amateur thing, and we can kind of talk about that. I actually Clay, I'll bring it up a little bit later, but you'll laugh about it. But like yeah, I just feel like so the answer to the KD question from my point of view, real quick. So real quick to what you were saying, Austin. But like say Sam, we'll use our team hypothetically, just so I'm not calling anyone out. But like Sam's our ICR. If he has a point eight, is that different? You know what I'm saying? Like what's your opinion on that?
No, there's a problem there. If he
Okay,
has a
so
point
so
eight,
that's what I'm saying. So
obviously.
like, there is a line to where KD means like you can't have your ICR doing that. Like you're like there are players that are supposed to put up higher KDs and lower KDs like depending on their roles. Like your ICR has it a little bit easier, just to be
I
flat out honest.
genuinely
Yeah.
think if you can hover around a 1, which means you go 1 for 1 every gunfight, like you get 1 and then you
Yeah,
die, you're doing your job. You
yeah,
got 1,
I agree with that.
you opened up whatever that kill is. If you hover around a 1, you're doing your job. I think as soon as you start, like, even if you get to 1.2, that's not doing as much for you as having a point 0.8 sucks for your team. Like when you're consistently dying like that and not going 1 for 1 and just like having your team have to fight 4v5, that's when it's an issue.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing where it's just a lot of people see like the point eight thing and like it depends on your role and depends on if you're an ICR, if you're a Maddox. Like if you have a Maddox and you're dropping a 0.65, you're getting shit on. You know what I'm saying? But like at the same time, if you're a Maddox and you're dropping a 0.65 and your excuse is like I'm sliding in first every time, like I'm baiting, it's like you need to slow the fuck down sometimes. Depending obviously on the like
You're
you
playing
should.
the game wrong.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So there are so many different ways to go about it. I think like KD doesn't show it all at all. I think
It doesn't. That's why when people give Joe stick, I tell
yeah.
him to shut up. I hold him highly. Like last year, our
Oh,
red
people
team, me, Reese,
roasted
and
him all the
Trey,
time.
he
Yeah.
held us together. If we didn't have Joe in that team, we wouldn't have been the team we was.
I mean,
Facts.
I had that role with our phase team. I had some bad events. I had some good events last year,
If
but
we
I
didn't
feel
have
like I
Joe,
did a lot more than
we
that.
wouldn't have been as good as we
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, and I agree. I think there I think enables that guy for us. Like Ian does not put up 1.2s with the SOG. He doesn't
Yeah.
do it. But like that's first of all, if he was doing that, someone on our team's getting shit on, which is an issue. But like second of all, like dude Ian's going in first, and like the whole dragging auto aim thing is a thing. Like he goes in first in front of Sam, he takes one down, and then Sam gets the kill. Like you know what I'm saying? Like having that guy that is selfless enough to actually
Wait,
genuinely not
what did
care
Ian?
is huge.
You know what Ian had at the last event? I'm curious.
I mean to be fair,
Probably like a point eight, point nine.
I don't look at stats,
Point-
but I think it was around like a 0.89.
I
If I
try
could,
and not look at him either.
I don't look at stats because like when I view our losses, like I don't want to be like, oh well, this guy got shit on. I usually like to look at like the mini map and like actually.
Yeah, I
see
mean,
it.
and it
And,
comes
like,
into the system too. I mean, if
yeah,
somebody's dropping a point 0.8, but every single time they're setting up a bait and then like going and getting somebody weak, dying, and then a two-piece happens every time. That's a lot different of a point eight than if an ICR is running a point eight and it's just like dying while he's getting baited for. You know, like if somebody slides in, pops a two-piece, and he just runs in and dies. Like that's a lot different of a point eight. You know, and people just
Yeah.
see point eight and that's it. But it's like a lot different.
There's the play styles are a whole thing. Like there are players that play slower and bait, and then there are players that play faster and do it. Like for example, Dylan Codd is unfucking believable, and I say that because that guy goes in fast, he goes first a lot, and he does a great job doing it. Like he is very good. I like using Preston as an example too. Even someone like Asim, we haven't talked about him all cast. Bro, Asim is the craziest player ever. You know about it. You guys know about it. You play with him, Maddie. You guys play against him. He might be a little too fast sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like, he
another
can
thing.
learn.
If we picked up Dylan instead of, for example, if we picked up Dylan instead of Asim, we wouldn't have been as good as we are.
And they're both great players. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It just.
Well,
it's
he
play
suits our
styles.
team. We need him. We need Asim. He suits our team a lot better than Attacks does.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like they're both of them are great players. It's just
Yep.
like play styles and going in. Like Asim is your entry guy. He's your go-to guy. He might have a .8 some maps, but like you guys thoroughly believe that Asim is a great great teammate, and you guys know what he brings. Same thing with our team and Ian. Ian has maps where he gets shit on, and we laugh about it because we know like Ian didn't get shit on sitting in the back of our spawn. He's going in first. He's baiting. He's making us play better, and that's like the whole point. Where I feel like that is so lost to a lot of people, especially what I was gonna bring it to Clay. What I was saying before, the amateur scene. I want to talk about this very briefly. I don't want to get too far into this, but we had like a side monitor in the pro lounge of like the amateur bracket, and like not all the matches were like two really good amateur teams playing against each other, but like some of the amateur teams that were playing like I feel like what we're talking about is like a glaring issue in how they play the game, and it's like you can just see it from the way they are running and the way they are playing. Like I know they know the spawns and shit, obviously. Like they're good players. I've played against a bunch of them, but like I just feel like that mindset gets into like even like amateur players. Like yo, I have to drop a 1.3. If I drop a 1.3, Clayster's gonna pick me up on a United. Like most of the time, if you're trying to get picked up by a top team, one of the top teams has that player that actually looks, or like their coach or whoever it is looks at players and is like, that guy's dropping a 1.3, but he's a slow hamster, as FaZe RJ likes to say. He's a slow hamster. He's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he's playing slow. That's what it is. Like he's not doing shit. Then like bro, when I watched Dylan Codd play for the first time, and I love using him as an example, big fan of him obviously, as you can tell. You watch Dylan Codd, the first time I saw that kid play, I was like, this kid's fucking disgusting. You know
He's
what I'm saying?
unreal. That one of his current problems, and I think it's his only problem, is he also goes off for them a lot. But he also costs them a lot of rotations. For example, a lot of holds because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a crackhead. He childs everything. He has a lot to learn.
Same thing with Asim. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Preston, like Priesta, one of his biggest problems is sometimes he gets a little overzealous. I mean,
He challenges absolutely everything. Even when he's half health, even
Yeah.
when he's got two and feels like he needs to get the third, that's what he's currently going through. And once he gets that down, bro, it'll be
yeah.
unreal.
And that's the thing. I think like Asim, Priesta, like all those players, like kind of maintain that, and I think they get better.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing though. It's like there's just those play styles that like you see, and it's just such a difference to like why like even like some amateur players, like it just looks like some of them just don't give a fuck about winning, and it's like disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And like it's just like I don't know if they don't watch like some teams play and like try and get better, or they're genuinely actually trying to pad their stats just so they can leave the amateur bracket getting sixth and saying like, yo, I had a fucking 1.4, like I might have got
I mean, it's
sixth,
kind of
but I had a 1.4.
it's kind of a
like,
product
bro,
from
fuck
all
off.
of us. You
No, I
kind of
know, and that's-
always talking about stats, and that's what you always see. Like, and ever since like stats came about, everybody's just like stats, leaderboards, top 10. I had a top 3 KD at this event, and this, that, and the other. It's like everybody just always talks about fucking stats.
I do think stats are way more important in previous games, though. I just think in
other
this one
games.
it's
in this
so-
game, I definitely think it's way
I-
less important.
I don't know. My theory on COD is I hate having distinct roles in Call of Duty. I
What?
hate like Sam's
What?
our ICR. I hate like Sam should not always be the last one into a
But Sam
situation.
is, but
in a
Sam
perfect
is not.
world.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it's not like that. Sam sometimes is gonna be in front of Ian, and if Sam does not fucking sprint in there before Ian, there's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
Like
there's
that-
3
that's
people
a-
in there looking at a door
the
instead of a
pro-
1v1.
Like for instance,
you know?
what I can bring up from our thing, people would probably classify me as like a slower Maddox player, like more like the person who baits and stuff like that. But But when it came down to it in a 2v1 versus Optic, I got to the bomb first, and I said I'm gonna hop it right away. 90% of other slower Maddox players would have been like, nah, enable, hop this, I got you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
True.
And
Like,
that
if
is
you're
true.
in the situation, you have to make the play.
Yeah.
No,
like, if
don't
you're
wait
the-
for your SOG to come and slide in, because then you're literally making it to where your SOG's gonna drop a 0.6
And not
and
only
get
that,
out of rhythm.
Yeah, and not only
Like,
that,
bro, if-
you're letting players
Yeah.
catch up. You're letting teammates catch up.
Yeah,
to
if
your-
I get to ring on frequency and Ian's behind me, I'm going in first. I don't care
Facts.
who's behind me, I'm going in first. Ian's gonna get my trade. I trust Ian to get a trade. If I
Well,
don't trust my
you
teammates to
shouldn't be
get a
teaming
trade,
with them.
Exactly. Like,
yeah,
you should be playing like to help your teammates do better too, and putting up the stats.
and see,
That's
like,
why I think the stats are so fugazi in this game.
and what you just said though, I feel like to the amateur scene, like I know I have had a few amateurs actually DM me after some of my podcasts and talk about how much they actually like this and stuff, and they feel like a lot of people don't get it, and that's why I'm kind of talking about it, just to like kind of just bring light on that too. This is not only pro, this is a community thing. It's like Austin, what you just said, like I guarantee you, like 80% of amateurs don't think like that. And even if they
No,
might,
don't.
they
They don't.
might want to bullshit right now and be like, no, I think like that. No, you just fucking don't. Like I've seen it in some
Yeah.
of the gameplay. Like these, like some players hurt their teams more than they help, regardless of their stats, because like
That's what I'm saying.
they do that shit, and it's like
Some of
it's
those
so
people with a
annoying to watch.
1.3 are hurting their teams more than they're helping.
Yeah, they suck.
They could have a 1.1 and be doing more for the team than their 1.3 is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like that's the definition of being fucking ass. That's like my
Especially-
definition of it.
Especially in 150 health stim Call of Duty. Especially.
Interesting. That's other stuff. All right, we'll take it's been an hour 40, so I'm not gonna hold this up too much longer.